Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on back to the Sunless Sea. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today as we go on further adventures. A quick word of warning, in the previous episode, we got in a port report that they wanted us to take in Port Cecil. I had to close the game down, and when I reopened it, I guess it only saves when you go into port, not after you do all your stuff in port. And so I had to retake that mission, and I guess it is semi-randomized because when it rolled back my progress, the second time around, we got Polythreme, which is fine. We've been out to Polythreme. It's not really that huge of a deal. However, I don't remember, they want Stygian Ivory at Polythreme. That's all that I remember from there. However, how far out is that before we go? It's pretty far. I'm thinking the best way that we could do this is we hit... You kind of want to plan this out. And so I'm thinking we buy fuel, we go bam, we do a little loop right there, we go down to the Cumaean Canal, we come back up to Godfall. If we really wanted it to be time efficient, we would just go straight around the horn right there, because we want to hit Hunter's Keep with the new information so that we can lose the 10 terror every time that we go out. However, I think I'm just going to go straight down through here. We'll get Abbey Rock, we'll get Mutton Island, we'll get Godfall, we'll get the Cumaean Canal, we'll hit Polythreme, and then we'll come back. And so I'm thinking we're going to need at least 15 fuel in order to make that whole thing work. So let's go to London, and we're going to jump on into the shops menu. We're going to go to Mrs. Plenty's Shipside Provisioners, and we'll go up to 15 fuel right there. I additionally think it's probably a wise idea for us to bring along some mushroom wine, because it seems to sell well, both to the monks and to everybody else while we're out and about. And then it's time for some more adventures. We set out on the open sea to head down into the southeast. We haven't done anything new in the last couple episodes, and that's going to be largely because I do personally feel like we need to make some money. We need to make some money. We need to buy some upgrades for our characters. Ooh, we can fight that crab right there. Let's fight him, so that we can get ourselves some hunger reduction. God, I don't know what it is about recording today, but my tongue just does not want to participate in anything that I'm trying to set forth. It's really sort of depressing considering it's a part of my anatomy. Oh, it rolled back my hull repairs. That's funsies. So I think what I'll do... Ew, I don't want to about face right now. But I guess we have to. That's a little bit too much damage to really feel sure about ourselves. And so there we go. We killed off the crab. Let's do it about face. We'll go back to port. We'll repair real fast. And we will... If you dissect it, you only give one page. You get one page. That's all. Or wait, do you get a page or do you get... I don't remember if you get a fragment or if you get a... I'm pretty sure you get a fragment. It would be really overpowered if you got pages every time you did that. Let's butcher it for supplies. And we lost 44 hunger. And then we'll flip around here. We're still in port, so we didn't gain any terror, which is nice. Still, it's a little bit disappointing. We just wasted a half a cask of fuel, just going like 5 feet out. Like, well, damn. That didn't go the way that we wanted to. This adventure is already off to a very Splattercat-y start. What more can you say about it? I mean, I don't really think there's much more we can say. Get into dock. We'll go to... Not you. Not you. We don't want you. You're terrible. We can carouse the Wolfstack docks. Let's see, we want the dry dock. We'll go to the Admiralty yards. It costs us 1 Admiralty's favor and then 20 echoes, and that puts us at 618. Okay. Let's go ahead and head back out, and now we're ready to ride. We might not make the full breadth of the trip off just the fuel we have right now, but we're gonna risk it. We'll see how it goes. I think we can make it, and if we believe hard enough, we've got to treat it like fairy pixie dust. If we believe hard enough, everything should be okay. We don't want to be soft in our belief. I'm going to try and stay inside the light radius of all these places, and then we'll try and cut to the east. It looks like we got another crab right there, so if people start to get hungry, we'll go for that. I may actually not hit the Abbey. I don't know. The Abbey's only worth like 10 echoes anyways. It's not really that much money for hitting him. I know that a lot of people will say, well, every little bit helps, but I don't know. The recurring nightmare watched. Oh, good. Everything's out of alignment. That's enjoyable. The eye wants to learn you. Well, let it. I'm sorry. It's the same thing that we had before. We can flee the nightmare for the 34% chance. Let's do that since it's our highest chance. We failed in a challenge. We lost our restful night, and then we lost nightmare's strength, but we gained 12 terror. All right. Not the best way to spend our time, but Can't really be helped. Those random events, they get you every now and again. I may have to come over here and fight with one of these crabs in order to make this work. And we have a 100% chance. Let's just kill it real fast because we have enough hunger anyways to where it's probably a good idea. There are 2 mirrors and then a shot right there. I wish we could speed up the combat, though. I will say that. I wish that we could slightly speed up the combat. 38 illumination from our first go. I do feel like we're getting a lot more illumination now out of our individual attacks. We're getting huge amounts. I think that if we went for a full 3, we could probably land ourselves a full salvo. And we'll butcher it for supplies, get the food on in there. And then I hope I don't have to fight another crab. Come on. Ah, there's so many of them. We'll stay around the edge of this island right here. Actually, with our terror level so high, it's a little bit risky to make the run to Polythreum, but it's a roguelike. We can die. We'll go ahead and go to Quaker's Haven, and we will grab... Explore the shore. You turn, and there's a long, lank brown man. Listen, oh, this is the guy with the terror of story, or the horror story or whatever. So we gained 5 more terror, but we gained a tale of terror. Go to Quaker's Haven. We'll drinks at the Cock and Magpie. Does that help? We lose 3 terror. Just Vales hasn't changed because it's higher than 50. Tonight they're serving rubbery lumps the Mutton Island way. They make them down in London, but they're not the same. These are like gristle if gristle could be golden, saltier than any decent food should be, and somehow you can't stop eating them. It's the well water, see, slurs a young man who's been making friends with cider. Can't make proper rubbery lumps without proper well. Stands to reason. We look after the well here, treat it right, and the drowned man looks after us. The landlord comes over and slaps the young fellow and takes his cider away. So I suppose we could have gotten some free Vales right there, had our Vales been a little bit lower. We gained iron, though. That's pretty sweet. A freebie iron. I'll definitely take that. That's awesome. It was expensive for a drink, though. If we chat with the fisherman, we gain the port report for Quaker's Haven. And then it's back out and on our way. That crab is really, really close to us. We're going to go ahead and flee him because we don't need it anyways. And then we'll go down to Godfall, then we'll try Polythreum, although I should really focus on... it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of light sources down this way, so we may just kind of soak in the terror for a little while. This could be a risky trip for us. I do sort of want to fight one of these boats right here, but I don't know if it's a wise idea. Oh hell, I can't get out of the way now. What is this? We can run away, unfinished men. Something's gone awry with their construction. They're capable of violence. Perhaps you should finish their deconstruction. Let's try it. Let's stand our ground. He's got 75 hull just like we do. Go for a couple of those. I'm willing to bet he'll probably go for the same thing that we will. This could be a very damaging trip for us. Okay, and so let's start with the fire now. Oh wow, he's trying to take us up to full or something. I don't know what he's trying to do. Oh hell. Oh, we survived it. Nice! So we can investigate the hold. Fragments of clay are littered across the deck. They crunch underfoot like potsherds. Unfinished men do not surrender. What treasure did the villains take? Fragments, an occurrence. Your cache of curiosities quality is now something. What's inside? An intriguingly lumpy sack. It's probably not a sack full of skulls. And so, a sad little chain of bottled souls. It's hard to be sure if souls have eyes, but when these ones emerge from the sack into the light, they turn their blindly questing faces towards you in what seems like excitement, and then all at once relax, disappointed or relieved. So we gained a crate of human souls. Wow. Although we may have to turn back. We took a lot of damage right there. And given that we had nightmares straight out of the gate, we may have some problems getting these jobs done. I don't know if we'll make it all the way to Polythreum without going crazy. We'll stop at Godfall. And so in Godfall, we can go for the of wine. And so there it is, 150 echoes. Oh, it is repeatable. Oh, wow. So that's the way to make money right there. So I think we may just... I actually may do this off camera where we just hang out right here and turn in those for echoes because I think you make about Make about 45, but I mean, off each run, let's say that you fill up most of your hold with that, and then each time you take one of those ships too, you might make a little bit of money. I don't know how much you can sell human souls for. I think in London they were like 50 or 60 you could sell. And then we have of shouting, so we'll get the port report. Explore the Shattered Citadel. We need purchase at Mrs. Plenty's shipside. Oh, we need Foxfire candles. More Foxfire candles you have, the better. Bad things will happen if you run out. Alright. Now we have an important decision to make. 21 terror. We need to make the call right now if we're going to go for polythreme. It is close, and I do think that we can make it. Let's try for it. We'll see if we can avoid any fights or anything like that, but let's live on the edge for a little bit. Now, are there any buoys we can make for it? No, there are no buoys. So I think we're going to be a little bit close here, and we're definitely going to gain some nightmare strength, and it's going to keep happening over and over and over again. We're going to continue having bad nightmares. We got to figure out some way to get rid of them, and unfortunately, we lost our restful nights as well. We really don't want to fight another one of them, because that deadly salvo that they let loose with when they flare the hell out of you is... It's hard. It's hard to take care of. The Antonine Abyss. However, if you get that cask of curiosities or that sack of curiosities every time you fight them, it definitely stands to reason that you can make a considerable sum of cash fighting those things, assuming that you can beat them with any sort of relative proficiency. I think we could kill them without taking a hit. I think we could. I don't know. That full salvo, I know that that full salvo that they launched at us has taken me from full health down to 0 before, so I think we just got a really good roll right there, and they got a really bad roll. But if we could get a better ship maybe, or upgrade our mirrors even further so that we could illuminate faster, or maybe so that we could fire our guns faster, something, anything really. Let's go ahead and dock up in polythreme. And so the taciturn claymen are here. We'll take the gather intelligence. We gained 5 terror. We're now haunted. We gained 3 fragments, and then we get the port report. Roads royal, bricks quiver, the windows of all the buildings flash like eyes, the palace above the city swells and roars, this convulsion is how claymen are born. Even now somewhere below they open their blind-seeming gray eyes. Weird. Alright, your contact waits at the whistling eye, a masked bundle of grimy satin. The light here is poor, but it seems to have more gloves than it should. Why does light have gloves? Please, wheezes a voice from the mounds of clothing. Take it, I need to pay my debt. It seems that the clothes, mostly gloves you see, are more wearing than being worn. The pale and sweating fellow within is a prisoner of his wardrobe. Take the report, though your fingers may shrink from the touch of the living cloth that binds him. Return it to London. Perhaps you'll help him pay whatever debt he owes. So we got another tale of terror. We gained another terror, and we finished our commission. Drink beer that wails from cups that sob. Definitely, I don't know if my cup was crying out. It seems definitely a little bit iffy. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it. Stygian ivory can be sold right here for 30. I remember writing that down, but I think you only trade Stygian ivory for Z stories up in the top left of the map. I'm not really sure where you get Z stories from after that. Let's head back to our point of origin to get this terror taken care of. If we get ourselves another bit of nightmares, I think that's going to be it, though. So hopefully we don't find ourselves another grapple or another... I don't know. How do you pluralize nightmares? Like, you know how you have, like, a murder of crows? Or you have, like, a pride of lions? How do you pluralize nightmares? I would call them a flight of nightmares. I don't know. It just feels right. It seems to feel about right. Or a settling. I don't know. I think we need to get in on the committee for if the Nerd Castle could be the first group of people to pluralize nightmares and give them their actual, you know, pluralization, their own popular little social group name. I think that would elevate us as people on the internet. I can't tell you that it will, but it seems like it might. We'll probably make the run here. I just need to be careful about the corners that I cut. So I think if we can go to Godfall, if we can stay around the edges of the island, we might be alright. Maybe. Oh no, we have to actually be closer to port, perhaps. So I'm going to go down this way until the terror's gone. Then we'll go out. On the way back, I don't think it would be ill-advised to maybe go to Hunter's Point. No, we'll go to Hunter's Point after we get the terror reduction. It'll be okay. he told himself, not really knowing if it actually would be okay. It seems like I do a lot more self-reassuring in this game than anything else. You've really got to try to convince yourself that things aren't going to go horribly. We won't stop at Mutton Island or anything like that. I'm just trying to get paid right now. That's all that I really, truly care about. We should probably fight a crab back on the way in, too. Ah, we got it again. We're going to flee again because we have the highest chance from fleeing, I think. And so we failed. So now we're at 100. That's bad. That's really, really bad. And I don't know what's going to happen now that we're at 100. Fear and despair have destroyed the loyalty of your queue. Half of those who remain have taken up arms against you. You've taken shelter in the bridge while their shots ring out around you. Cowards, villains, damn them all. And so we can fight them with a 52% chance. A haze of blood and gunfire, screams and imprecations. A man you knew with your knife in his heart. Rather quickly it's over, and you stand panting and victorious. You're much fewer. Push the corpse of the mutineers into the sea and press on for what little time remains to you. We've lost 5 crew, and we have had a costly victory, but it put us back down to 50 terror. At least we survived. That's all you can say about a situation like that. Let's go ahead and we'll fight with this crab right here to get our hunger back down. We're gonna need to recrew up, though. And so a few more moments, we should be ready to head our way back to London. The only thing that I could see going wrong right now is the possibility that maybe we get hit by pirates on the way in. And in our diminished state, I don't see that going very well for us. It's iffy. It's very, very iffy. I did want to mention, by the way, in case you were wondering, if you get the observations right here, it's totally not worth the effort. You get 1 fragment, that's all that you get. I suppose that if you've been low on fragments lately, that might be worthwhile for you, but for me anyways, I kind of see it as being a little bit useless. Let's make our way back to London. I don't want to fight any more crabs, so if we can stay away from them. I mean, we're going very, very slowly right now due to the fact that we are undercrewed. So I may need to flee them, but at least we survived the last conflict. I mean, that's a plus. We will flee. That crab is going to fight that crab for us. Like, cut off. That's like everybody in front of me in traffic every single day whenever I commute. Just cut off, cut off, cut off. And I drive very offensively, too. I'm an aggressive driver, but I get cut off so much, it makes me sad. I'd be like, no! Makes me very upset. That's the sound I make, too. I scream it out my window at other people, and they're like, that seems like a very unfriendly gesture. And typically, they raise forth the middle mast for me. But you know what? Meh, it's California. If you're not getting flipped off, you're not driving properly. I'm just going to continue running away because we have a 100% chance and I don't want to fight him. I'm feeling incredibly lazy right now after that whole debacle with everybody mutineering and trying to destroy us. Way too many nightmares on that run. We need to figure out a way to get rid of some of these nightmares. Now, it does seem that as you get them more and more and more, they do diminish. Every time you get the nightmare, whether you succeed or not at the challenge, it seems to help you out. And I do think that we should probably spend some secret on hearts. I'm feeling like our hearts are not high enough to really kind of keep the nightmares at bay from here on out. So I may do that. Luckily, Lord Dappingtonshire continues to exist. You take your victories. The mutiny's no fun, though. Alright, so we're back at dock. We step off right there. We gain another nightmare strength. That's the problem, is the nightmare strength accrues too quickly, and there's no way to effectively get rid of your terror once it's above 50. There is simply no way in the game to do it. I mean, aside from random events, lowering your terror is pretty much impossible. I do think they need to come up with a cheaper way. Lower the cost of carousing or something, because if you could spam carousing 6 or 7 times in dock, that would cost you about 70 echoes, and that would be worth the cost. That's a lot of money. 70 echoes is a great amount of money to get down to 0 if you succeed at all the challenges, but add in negative things that can happen too. I mean, I've only seen one negative thing ever happen carousing, so I may be thinking with regards to the balance, they need to make it easier to diminish your terror, yet at the same time include some risk in that easier. Basically add more risky events, but make it easier to lose your terror. Because Nightmare Strength, it builds up really, really fast, and it's almost impossible to keep down below 50. We'll collect messages from the Harbor Master. It looks like we're done with the Blind Bruiser. He hasn't bothered us in quite some time. I think what I'm going to do is start another run off to the south. We need to keep this divisible by 5 if we want this to work. And so what I think I'll do is let's go to the Admiralty first. We'll go ahead and let him know that we finished everything off. So they're Admiralty's favor. That's fine. We've got the next one that we want. Oh, never mind. We want to go to... Where does he want us to go? Wither. So he wants us to head back to Wither. All right. Not the best run that I feel like doing right now, considering we don't really have a whole lot to do up there. However, I think we could trade our Tales of Terror for something up there, and I think we have a couple of them in our hold. Our Tales of Terror. Yeah, we have 2 of them. And so with 2 Tales of Terror, we should be able to do something with it. I should probably also sell this crate of human souls. I haven't seen anywhere else that buys them for any reasonable price, so we might as well. So there's 60. Not terrible. Puts us up to 121, and if we go to the Admiralty, we can repair twice, and that'll put us back up, giving us a net gain of 20 over the course of that fight. Not the best, but not the worst. Still can't afford to upgrade our ship. I would love to go with the Calico class, and then just take tons and tons and tons of liquor down to the pirates over and over and over again. I bet you can make a ton of money that way. So that might be what I work towards. I don't really want the cutter. The cutter's bad. The Corvette... or the frigate might work too. I'd probably go for the frigate just so that we're expanding our hold size. Because these littler ships don't really seem to be the way to go. Let's go ahead and we'll go back to London. We need to hire on more crew. So with 30 echoes, let's do that. We lost Terror, we gained 2 crew. We'll go ahead and try it one more time. And so we gained 3 crew, we lost another Terror. And it says, sensible sailors looking for a safe run to the tomb colonies, or at least a sane run to the southern archipelago. You need to buy drinks, spread around hiring fees, look for daredevils. Your tall tales find a ready audience. Scarred and seasoned men and women tramp aboard and find places to sling hammocks. Okay, and so what we need to do now is maybe... we'll offer passage to tomb colonists since we're going up that way anyways. We need to put in at the dry dock. We use the Admiralty yards twice. And so that'll put us up to a full hull. And while we're on our way back up to Vetterblight, we should probably take mushroom liquor with us since we can sell it for 2 per sale. We've got that 3 right there that gives us, we'll make 26 off the run. That's pretty bad, but it's better than nothing. Got 13 fuel and we've got enough supplies, so I think we'll be alright. Foxfire candles buy for 40 here. I'm feeling like Vetterblight, it was like they were selling for, I don't know, like 33 or something like that. So yet again, another thing that needs to be moved around slightly, I guess. I don't know. Somebody had said in the comments that the developers weren't planning on making this a trade game. So if that's the case, then I don't complain any further. Obviously, that's, if they don't want it to be a trading game, it's not a trading game. I think I should buy a better gun. For 500 echoes, we could get down with a plus 15 iron weapon. What can I do with lamps? The Caminus Yard Hell Thrasher. Sounds like a gun. Definitely sounds like an awesome gun. I do, however, think... ah, there we go. So we get mirrors plus 1, equips to your bridge. You lose veils by doing that, though. We have 60. It's so expensive, but you gain a bunch of mirrors. I haven't seen anything... like, 1 is not... I don't think 1 justifies all that. I don't know. There are things that I want here. It seems easier to upgrade yourself for fighting than it does for anything else. Why would you go for this one? Oh, it equips to deck and equips to forward. They go to 2 different spots. Okay, well, let me have a look at my ship. I'm going to break the episode off right here. My name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me in the Nerd Castle for another episode of Sunless Sea. I'm going to peruse the wares and figure out what upgrades we can go with, because if we can get our irons up really, really high, we can just go down and fight with the pirates down there. And we'll fight pirates, we'll run liquor. I mean, we'll basically take on the life of the 1910, just rum running and fighting with everybody. Take care, everybody, and hi-do.